Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and welcome to our 2017 NFL season preview for the Indianapolis Colts. Now here's a look at what we have on tap for this preview. We will take a look at both sides of the ball in our offensive and defensive overview. We will also give you a reason for optimism as well as a cause for concern. And we will give you a breakout candidate who is an underrated player that'll end up playing a huge role this season. But first, let's take a look at some of the big storylines heading into the season as we get things kicked off in our 4-minute offense. As good as Andrew Luck has played last season for the Colts, there is some uncertainty about his condition entering the 2017 season. Luck had surgery on his shoulder and hasn't participated in the preseason and looks to be questionable for at least the opening game against the Los Angeles Rams. In such a tight division, the Colts can't afford to fall behind the Titans and Texans, and the hope is that at worst, number 12 only misses the one regular season game. It seems as if every season head coach Chuck Pagano is on the hot seat, but by season's end, he's off of it. Well, this season he's back as the head coach, and he added some new assistant coaches to help jumpstart some units that are under question. The message has always remained the same for Pagano, and the hope is that they can break through or get better on the defense side of the ball enough to where they can finally break through the AFC and get into the big game. Frank Gore has quietly put together a Hall of Fame career running the football. If Gore cracks 1,000 yards or even 700 this season, he'll pass new Hall of Fame running back LaDainian Tomlinson for 5th all-time in the NFL. 1,100 yards will actually put him 4th all-time, passing Curtis Martin. Now, that's an impressive feat for a guy that had 2 knee injuries coming into the league. Now, for the Colts' sake, the hope is that he gets over 1,000 yards because that'll mean they have the balance on offense to be successful. But still, Frank Gore deserves a lot of respect for what he has been able to accomplish over the course of his career. The biggest room for improvement on this 2017 Indianapolis Colts team is on the defensive side of the ball. The Colts were 30th in team defense last season, and it looked as bad as those numbers indicate. How bad? The Colts invested 6 of their 8 NFL draft picks on that side of the ball. Now, the focus will be on defensive coordinator Ted Monachino, who will be asked to turn a unit that had trouble getting off the field into a turnover-making machine. Now, there's no doubting the talent that is there to see a change, but will it result in one is yet to be seen. Right now, everyone's record is at 0-0, and every fan is excited about the 2017 season, and every coach feels as though that this year's team has the right mix of everything to push them over the top. Well, here's why you should be optimistic about the 2017 season. Like we mentioned in the open, the Colts made an effort to bolster the back end, and I love what they did in the NFL draft. Indy added a ball hawk and free safety Malik Hooker out of Ohio State. Now, he's a mistake eraser on the back end, and I also love the cornerback additions in Nate Hairston and Quincy Wilson. Keep an eye on Dante Blackman of Kennesaw State, an undrafted free agent that has elite-level ball skills. So the fact that they went out after guys that can turn the ball over instantly should make you optimistic if you're a Colts fan. Another reason for optimism is along the offensive line. In my opinion, I think the Colts are vastly improved in this area. I know they'll be without center Ryan Kelly, who was stellar as a rookie last season, but he's slated to return at some point during this year. But overall, with Anthony Costanzo, LaRaven Clark, Joe Haig, and Jack Mewhort holding on the fort until he returns, they'll be more than capable up front. Now, the biggest cause for concern is the health of Andrew Luck. How long will he be out, and how effective will he be when he returns? Right now, Scott Tolzien is prepping as if he's the starter, the day one starter, and undrafted free agent Philip Walker, who's talented, and Stephen Morris are the backups. The Colts hope that one of these 3 can keep the ship afloat until Luck returns. Another concern would be on the defensive side of the ball, within the front 7 actually. If they don't get better versus the run or rushing the passer, then it doesn't matter who you added in the back end. This was an area where the Colts definitely want to improve both in the draft and in free agency. Every year there's a player on the team that enters the season on the bubble. Maybe he's buried on the depth chart or he's an afterthought, but they end up playing a big role on the team by the season's end. So without further ado, here's my pick for the offensive and defensive breakout candidate. Keep an eye on wide receiver Chester Rogers. With former first-round pick Philip Dorsett in the doghouse, Rogers, who made big-time strides last year as an undrafted free agent, has an opportunity to step into the number 3 role and blossom. So look for him to do just that this season. Defensively, I really like the Jonathan Hankins signing in free agency. I cover the Giants out here in Jersey and got to see a lot of Hankins and the progression he has made over the course of his career. I don't think he was appreciated enough out here, but he will instantly become a difference maker up front for the Colts. All right, it's prediction time. So here's how I think the 2017 season will play out. The road to the Super Bowl for the Colts goes as follows. And number 1, is probably as obvious as it can be. Andrew Luck has to be healthy and ready to go for the season, or for the greater part of the season. If he's out there at 100% and ready to go, the Colts have a chance. And also, if the Colts defense drastically improves, again, you don't have to be a top 10 defense. You just can't be 30th, and they have to get to at least 16 if they want to be competitive. And that revamped secondary has to pay off. They have to start turning the ball over and getting the ball back to Luck in that offense in order for these guys to find their way into Minneapolis in February. And I have the Colts finishing third in the AFC South. Too many questions right now on both sides of the ball for Indianapolis. You don't know about the health of Andrew Luck long term. You also don't know how will all of the changes defensively play itself out this season. But right now, I do have them finishing third. They'll be competitive, but not enough to overtake the Titans or the Texans. So that's a wrap for this video. Be sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts as you see listed. And if you want to check out our NFL season previews, as you already should, visit our website at footballgameplan.com/2017 NFL previews. And then finally, don't forget to subscribe on iTunes to Football Game Plan Podcast, where you can find all of our NFL shows like the Football Cypher, where we will go more in depth with the 2017 Indianapolis Colts. To find that podcast and our other shows, visit our website at footballgameplan.com/podcast or on our SoundCloud page at soundcloud.com/FBGP podcast.